Digital currencies, a new dawn. In recent years, central bank digital currencies, CBDCs, have garnered significant attention in the Middle East and Central Asia. Almost two-thirds of the countries in these regions are exploring the adoption of CBDCs to promote financial inclusion and improve the efficiency of cross-border payments. However, adopting a CBDC requires careful consideration, given the diverse economic landscapes stretching from Morocco and Egypt to Pakistan and Kazakhstan. Many of the 19 countries currently exploring CBDCs are at the research stage. For instance, Bahrain, Georgia, Saudi Arabia, and the United Arab Emirates have progressed to the more advanced proof-of-concept stage, while Kazakhstan has conducted two pilot programs for its digital tenge, making it the most advanced in this journey. One of the most compelling reasons for countries in the Middle East and Central Asia to adopt CBDCs is the potential to improve the efficiency of cross-border payment services. This is especially crucial for all exporting nations and Gulf Cooperation Council (GCC) countries like Bahrain, Kuwait, Oman, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, and the United Arab Emirates. Cross-border payments often face challenges such as varying data formats, different operating rules across regions, and complex compliance checks. A well-designed CBDC could address these inefficiencies, significantly reducing transaction costs. Some countries have already taken steps to improve cross-border payment systems. For example, the Arab Monetary Fund introduced the Buna cross-border payment system in 2020 to promote digital currency payments between countries. By facilitating faster and more efficient transactions, CBDCs can enhance financial inclusion by fostering competition in the payments market. This increased competition can lead to lower costs for financial services, making them more accessible to a broader population. Central banks, unlike commercial banks, are not driven by profit motives. This allows them to keep costs lower, further promoting financial inclusion. Moreover, the increased competition from CBDCs could encourage technological advancements in payment services, making financial services more efficient and accessible to more people. Countries in the Caucasus, Central Asia, and all importing nations in the Middle East and North Africa are particularly interested in these potential benefits. However, the successful adoption of CBDCs is not without challenges. Low digital and financial literacy, lack of identification, distrust of financial institutions, and low wealth levels are significant barriers. Without addressing these issues, the benefits of CBDCs may be limited. CBDCs could also impact bank profits and lending. Deposits make up a large share of bank funding in the region, about 83%. Since CBDCs may compete with bank deposits, they could affect bank profits and financial stability. However, banks in the region generally have adequate capital levels, profit margins, and liquidity buffers, which may mitigate these risks. Large banks, particularly in GCC countries, are dominant and could handle the competition better. From a monetary policy perspective, CBDCs could enhance the transmission of policy changes into deposit rates by increasing competition among banks. This could strengthen the bank lending channel of monetary policy. However, the impact of CBDCs would likely be country-specific and difficult to estimate due to limited uptake so far. To mitigate potential risks to financial stability, policymakers must ensure a healthy banking system, a sound legal framework, and strong supervisory and regulatory capacities. Design features such as restrictions on CBDC balances and transactions can also help limit competition with bank deposits. Selecting appropriate design features for CBDCs is a significant challenge for regional policymakers. Achieving the goals of financial inclusion and payment system efficiency will depend on these choices. For instance, designing CBDCs to work offline could promote financial inclusion in areas with poor mobile service, such as low-income countries and conflict-affected states. Using CBDCs for cross-border transfers could lower the cost of sending remittances and speed up transfer times. Ultimately, introducing digital currencies is a long and complex process that central banks must approach with caution. Policymakers need to determine whether a CBDC serves their country's objectives and if the expected benefits outweigh the potential costs and risks. Adoption of CBDCs may not be essential to achieving policy goals. Improving existing digital payment systems could be a more practical alternative. The International Monetary Fund, IMF, is assisting countries in exploring CBDCs. Through capacity development and surveillance, the IMF supports policymakers in evaluating the need for CBDCs and helps them develop robust policies and regulatory frameworks to minimize risks to monetary and financial stability. The IMF is also publishing new chapters of its CBDC handbook, providing guidance on evaluating the need and risks and developing plans to issue CBDCs. In conclusion, while CBDCs hold promise for enhancing financial inclusion and payment efficiency in the Middle East and Central Asia, their adoption requires careful planning and consideration of each country's unique circumstances. With the right approach, CBDCs could usher in a new era of financial accessibility and efficiency in the region. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe.